Speaking of practice, what were you guys able to get done today?
A lot. No contact practice, but just fine-tuned a lot of things that we're trying to get better at. Add to our defensive package and the arsenal things we could throw at opposing teams. Fourth quarter scripts, and fourth quarter offense, not just late game, but we did late game as well. And, just trying to make sure that we turn a weakness into a strength, which I believe we will.
Brad, what was he able to do?
He did most of it except for the end of game stuff at the end of practice.
So what's his status for tomorrow?
Yeah, he and Eric are both questionable. Both participated today in the no contact stuff, and we'll see how they respond tomorrow.
Kevin is, we talked about him being mental with his shot the last 3 games, but he's like, everybody knows I can shoot, so that's not his issue. He felt mental and taking bad threes. I know you want the team to take more threes. What's a bad three?
One that gets blocked. But Kevin Durant, one that gets blocked. That's a bad three. Other than that, there's no such thing.
But you're still wanting to encourage him to keep shooting.
Yeah.
Coach, Dirk, his ankle is okay.
He's still sore. He's still sore, but he's not gonna be listed. I don't think. If he is, it's probable. But he's good to go. We don't want terrible threes, within reason. We want good shots. Okay, but he's got a green light.
When you look at the actions where you have Dirk and KD screen for one another, I know it's not something you've run a ton of, but what can that do as a defensive-minded coach to put a defense in kind of this way and try to?
Yeah, it's good action. The biggest thing is can we score on the exchange, right? Because they usually have their 2 best defenders on those 2 guys, and it's a switching game. So, we're not going to see a blitz and recover or a base coverage typically. So they got to try to score on the exchange. They slip out, hip tap roll into the basket. While that's happening, the vacuum that's created by the movement, can we attack that space, those types of things.
How did you like the spacing? I know you ran a couple times last game and Dirk was sort of in the dunker spot. You had good spacing, Grayson and Royce. How did that look?
Yeah, you'd say Grayson and Royce?
I think it was Grayson and Royce, but I know you had shooters.
Yeah, it's usually one of those guys and KD, we want to be able to involve, the defenders that we want to involve in. We want to go at the weak spots of opposing defenses as much as we can. And sometimes that's a 5-man, sometimes that's a small guard, so all of our guys offensively have to be not willing to, but have to be proficient in playing in the pocket.
Coach, injuries aside, Katie said he feels that this team is progressing at the right time. Where are you at with how you feel about this group?
Great. I feel great with where we're at, except for health. I just want to get everybody back. But, the goal is to be healthy in April. That's the number 1 goal. So however long that takes to get there and make sure these things are behind us, we're willing to wait. But I like how we're growing in all areas. Honestly.
So, Sunday marked the 40th time in which we LeBron by toe-to-toe against one another, but you won a championship with LeBron. Now, obviously, you're here. I'm curious to your thoughts of the journey of getting to coach these superstar players and
for me, it's just it's pretty surreal. I never, when I got into coaching, envisioned coaching the names that I've been able to and fortunate to coach. So I just try to stay humble with it and do the best I can, put them in positions to win, and making sure that the environment around them is one that that allows them to be at their best and to win games.
With the way LeBron is still moving in his age, if the passion is still fully there for him, how much longer do you think he can play with him?
I prefer not to comment on players on other teams.
New York said
10 or 12 more years. The way it's moving.
There you go.
Parody for the parody account. The parody account.
Love it. New York said after the Lakers game that a lot of the guys are still pissed about the Houston loss. Do you sense that the guys still want to get that one back against Houston?
No doubt. Definitely a game that we felt like the way we jumped out on them early in particular. We felt like we let get away, and guys be motivated to get it back, but also continue to take care of home court.
Have you
had any experience coaching players such as Bull that have had fathers that have played in the NBA, like Manu?
Coach Glenn Robinson III. You know, he's the first one that comes to mind. I was in Indiana. Yeah. And I actually coached his dad too, as an assistant coach in Philly for 1 year. So that was neat. But I think that's the only one. I mean, you could probably check my my track record, and maybe there's others, but I think those are the only ones.
Do you have any memories of coming up as a kid watching Manu play?
Manu?
Yeah.
Manu was my first autograph I ever got in my life. He played in against the Wildwood Aces in the USBL, I think the USBL. I forget, he was on Rhode Island. I was a little kid, and he played a game, and my dad went to a restaurant afterwards, and Bo was there. Asked for his autograph. I didn't even know what autograph was. My dad said, "Go get his autograph." I came over and BOL. That's all he wrote. Great. Thanks. Very cool. So yeah, I told Bobo that story too.
Yeah. Earlier this season, you mentioned how OKC is actually one of the top teams. When it's the end of the season, and they've since proven that. So Sunday was the second back to back. How important is to get a statement in against them, with this tough schedule that you have ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we need every game right now, and we got some heavyweights coming up on our schedule. But OKC is as good as anybody in the league, honestly. You know, I know Shay's getting a lot of MVP love, and he should be in that conversation for sure. He may win it. And the way coaches, doctoring up their defense, and their offense is so hard to guard with how they're using Chet. Chet's been phenomenal for them this year. Jalen Williams has really come on. Giddey, this team is deep. They got no holes. They can do it all. They're good on both sides of the ball, and it'll be a good challenge for us to see where we're at. But we need every game. The way the Western Conference standings are lining up. I was a Sixers fan. He's like 7 foot 100, and he's shooting half court shots. 10, 12 in a row. He's one of the most unique basketball players I ever saw at the time. Very cool. Very cool for me. Yes.
Full circle moment for you, but when you did tell Bull about the autograph, how did he respond?
He said, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah. No. I was 5. I think I was little. I was really little. Going into the Houston game, I just think, we just had some bad runs, in the middle part of that game. Some coverages we can definitely tie up. I don't think we passed the ball as well as we have over the last month or so in that game. And, obviously we had a terrible shooting game, so those things are connected, right? The better you pass the ball, the better you're going to shoot the ball. So, hopefully we're better sharing it offensively.
Thanks, Coach.
Right.
You all had that swing.